On the line again with Dr. Matt Chalmers joining us this morning talking about a new study, which is an interesting study because the way that they headed it here is drinking alcohol bad for your health, new dietary guidelines that will weigh the risks and benefits of alcohol. There might be people out there that say, benefits? How can you put benefits and alcohol in the same sentence? Well, let's talk to Dr. Matt about that. He is a healthy living expert with a holistic approach to healing by looking at the mind, body, and spirit of his patients. Our visit this morning presented by Marcus & Mack, voted best law firm and best personal injury lawyer 3 years in a row in the Best of Indiana County contest. Visit them online at marcusandmack.com. Dr. Matt, good morning.
Morning. How are you?
Wonderful, and it's good to have you with us here today. So drinking alcohol, we sort of have the idea that drinking alcohol is always bad for you. Is that not always the case?
There's a little bit of research that's showing us that neurologically, when we have that first drink and we feel the kind of the day wash off us, we kind of just sigh and feel ourselves unwind. That is us actually shifting from what's called fight flight, which is sympathetic nervous system, back to parasympathetic, which is resting, digesting. That change is extremely critical for our health. Outside of that, there's not a whole lot of benefit we're seeing from alcohol.
Yeah, let's define what drinking alcohol is, because there are some people that say, well, that's not really drinking alcohol if I'm just having a beer.
You know, one drink, I can see the classification of one drink is not drinking, but drinking 10 drinks. That's the excessive binging on alcohol, and that has always been 100% bad.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about this study then. Who did it, and what do you think of their results?
So the results that are showing that alcohol is a toxin are definitely true. We've seen this for a very long time. One of the things it does, it's always funny when I talk to patients, I tell them how bad alcohol is for them. They go, all right. And I go, by the way, it shuts off the body's ability to burn fat at the liver. They go, oh, so this is going to get me fat and keep me fat? They go, yeah. They go, all right, I'm done drinking. So it's always kind of funny why we choose to stop.
Yeah. And at this time of the year, especially in January, when people do that dry January type of thing, maybe they start themselves off on a whole new course.
Well, and it's always funny because I talk to people who are doing dry January towards the end of the month. I go, how do you feel? And they go, man, I feel really good. I go, how'd you feel at the start of January? And they go, man, I didn't feel very good. I'm like, what? Can we make some correlations here on the change?
Yeah. Well, this report says that men should limit their daily alcohol intake to 2 drinks or less, and 1 drink or less for women. The guidelines up for review this year, and 2 recent reports meant to inform that process came to competing conclusions, at least it seems that way, continuing a longstanding debate on how to weigh the risks and the benefits of alcohol. We still don't have a really good grip on it, do we?
You know, we have a pretty good grip on it. The problem we don't have a good grip on is the funding for the research. So the research actually shows us, and there's not a whole lot of biochemical argument, that consumption of alcohol more than a very small amount is toxic to the body. That debate isn't really happening. What's happening is how much it's going to impact our social psychological function, which you can make a little bit of an argument for, but at the end of the day, the research is really on the side of consumption of alcohol is bad for you.
Yeah, and we can certainly see that. I don't drink at all, and I know folks who do. Obviously, everybody knows folks who do, and they seem to handle it quite well. But others, they have the difficulties, and we see them, unfortunately, most often here in our town, Indiana, PA, by just looking at the criminal call sheet, which has dozens and dozens every month of DUI criminal calls, people getting behind the wheels of cars. There are those risks that are involved, but what we're doing to our bodies by the actual consumption of alcohol is more what this report is about. Yes,
absolutely. Now, and I can, as someone who's consumed gigantic amounts of alcohol in my life, and I've quit about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, I can tell you that there's not a whole lot as far as the social aspect. I still go to parties, I still hang out with people, I still go to all the cocktail parties. I just don't drink. There's not that much that I feel like I'm missing. It's a personal choice for everybody else, but I can tell you if you're thinking about maybe doing it, I would recommend that you try to cut it out.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me about the link between alcohol and cancers.
So the liver does a giant amount of cleaning the blood and the lymph as far as getting all the waste and toxins out of the body. whenever we start consuming alcohol, not only is it a toxin, but it really shifts the focus of the liver away from everything else it was doing to get rid of this alcohol right now. And so it ends up allowing more toxic stuff to stay in the body longer. And the more we have these chemicals, these reactive oxidative stress and these oxidative stress chemicals, the more cancer we're going to end up seeing.
Most people who start drinking are going to do so in their 20s, we hope, and not in their teens. But the effect of alcohol on those younger folks who are drinking well before the legal age says that they can, those teenagers, that can be really, really dangerous to them for their overall health and their long-term prospects, yes?
Absolutely. So a lot of the things, it's unfortunate, a lot of the things that we do in our younger years have massive effect us when we're older. The muscle we build when we're younger supports our body throughout the entire time. Any type of things we do to damage our liver or to damage our brain has a much bigger impact the further we go down the road. So, high alcohol consumption in younger people, while they rebound faster, long term it becomes even bigger problem.
There was the recent news as well that the government was considering putting the warning labels on them like it's on a pack of cigarettes, on a bottle of beer, for instance, and putting it on the label there. Would that really have an effect, do you think, on people who choose to drink beer?
No, I don't think anybody believes what the government says health-wise anymore. So I don't think that's going to help in any way deter people to stop drinking. What would be a good job is if we pushed out through social media, through experts, that says, look, here's actually the facts, here's what's going on, and here's the alternative to doing it.
Yeah. Oh, boy, that's interesting that you said that, too. The way that you said that people don't really trust the government for healthcare advice anymore. So do go to the experts. And you're one of those. So tell me about a holistic approach now to healing your body from the effects of alcohol.
So one of the biggest things that we can do is we can start repairing the liver. It's kind of funny. I actually, back when I was drinking, I developed a supplement that completely blocks hangovers by feeding the liver. And so by repairing the chemicals that are in the liver, the body can detoxify much, much faster. So if we're trying to get off of alcohol, we need to radically increase the amount of water we're consuming. I like to increase the mineral, the selenium, the magnesium, like the electrolyte minerals, to help kind of refill the body. And then we start feeding the liver the methylated B vitamins and things like that it requires to get healthy. And that's typically where we start. Now, people have hardcore addictions to alcohol. There's some psychedelics that we'll use. Ibogaine is the top of that, but we use ketamine a lot to break the addiction cycle.
Yeah, it's one. I want to talk to you about the liver. We all know Haywood Banks' song about the glories of the pancreas. Let us all sing the praises of the pancreas. It's never had the glory that the liver gets. The liver is so important to us. I don't think we realize what the liver does, what its function is within our bodies, and how we damage that liver, and maybe as well the ability for the liver to be repaired. Let's visit that topic a little bit, because we're damaging it greatly when we're consuming alcohol.
Well, so one of the things that we're doing is we're depleting the body of methylated B6. Methylated B6 keeps the bile salts in suspension. So when we start looking at gallstones and things like that, what those are, that's actually bile that's produced in the liver that is then transported to the gallbladder. But the problem is if we lose that methylated B6, the bile salts start to congeal and they start to turn into like a rubber cement. So by consuming the alcohol and having the body require the B6 to be used to denature the alcohol instead of process fat and process things in the liver, we start having actual damage to the chemicals, and it ends up in things like gallstones, and we have to have the gallbladder removed.
Yeah. Doctors will tell you what your liver condition is. They can tell us just by looking at it, and they can predict the problems that are coming. Dr. Matt Chalmers with us this morning. Tell me about what you do and how people can learn more from you.
So what we do is we take, like you said, a holistic look at the entire person. Lots of psychology, lots of biochemistry, and we reset hormones and teach exercise, and people can get a hold of us at chalmerswellness.com. The book is Pillars of Wellness. It's on Amazon.
Pillars of Wellness by Dr. Matt Chalmers. And you said chalmerswellness.com?
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. Hey, thanks so much for visiting with us today. It's been informative.
Absolutely, anytime.
Have a great day.
Bye.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. So